So I took a planned day off of all social media yesterday, and what a day to do it. Oh my goodness, the stuff that was happening at the Capitol. A lot to say about that. But first, let's take a look at this person. Will videos like this change the minds of U.S. liberals who support regime change and fascists in Venezuela? Probably not. Let's check it out.
No. To the people of Venezuela, no, you can take your country back too. We are setting the example. We are setting the bar. We are setting the precedent. You can take back your country. You can put an end to communism and to globalism. You too can take back your nation.
God, I really wish we had communism in the United States. That's how deranged some of these people's worldviews are. They actually think Joe Biden, they believe that whole right-wing narrative that he's some communist or radical leftist. I would love if that's true, but it's not. It's like, Jesus Christ, just completely disconnected from reality.
From this evil, you can win your country back, Venezuela.
Venezuela doesn't want to win their country back. They're perfectly happy with their socialistly elected government that actually looks out for the well-being of the people. I mean, look at this person. Jesus Christ. That's Max Blumenthal. And then, yeah, there are some people on Twitter saying that Putin was behind. Like, Jesus Christ. This was a bunch of dummies following Trump's lead. A bunch of white supremacists, ultra-nationalists, completely delusional people. There's a lot of things to be fighting and pissed off for right now. And Trump not winning the election is definitely not one of them. And as well as the fact of how the Capitol Police and other law enforcement people treated these protesters compared to how they've been treating Black Lives Matter protesters who have been protesting for social and racial justice. And these people were storming the U.S. Capitol, some with guns, and they're treated with kid gloves. I mean, yeah, and then, let's see. Yeah, protesters say a young woman was shot in the neck while inside the Capitol. This appears to be her. They are amped up right now. Sorry for the sideways camera work. And I'm not going to show the video because it will probably, Twitter will take down, or I mean, YouTube will take down this video, but it's right there. I watched it. They did, in fact, shoot this lady through this door. And violence should be condemned on both sides. And I think the response shouldn't be these protesters should have also been brutalized like the people protesting for Black Lives Matter and social and racial justice. It's that none of these people should have been brutalized. This person shouldn't have been shot either. I mean, they didn't have a weapon. It didn't seem like they were posing a serious threat. Yeah. Yep. If you're shrugging off or celebrating cops killing a Trump supporter, you're taking the wrong lesson about police brutality. I agree. I'm watching the leftists transform in real time into apologists for police murder. There are 100 different ways cops could have handled the situation that didn't involve lethal force. Exactly. Exactly, Dan. Exactly. George W. Bush authorized a coup after Palestinians had elections in 2006. He didn't like the result. I think that was maybe when Hamas came to power. Let's see. I think he had some more videos here. He says, my people don't have real... Bum, 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 bum. God damn it. Ah. Alright, maybe he didn't have more video. I thought he did, though, about asking some of them about what the cops are doing if they support defunding them. I saw one local come out to politely challenge Stop the Steal 2021 crowd, and this is what happened. No Biden voters came out to protest what they called a coup attempt, and MPD had a tellingly weak presence for most of the afternoon, so no one was there to defend them. It's in Joe Biden's mealy mouth. Police open the gates. Interesting. Not surprising, frankly, because, again, police, ultranationalists, Proud Boys, white supremacists usually go hand in hand, you know? So it's no surprise that they open the gates here.
Police are squabbling with
Oh,
protesters.
and then they let them in. Huh. There you go.
And they just reached the Capitol again. Police are squabbling with protesters.
U.S.
Oh,
Capitol
there we go.
Police, let them in.
And they just reached the Capitol again.
And you notice how earlier in the year, how they tear gassed and brutalized people so Trump could come out of his bunker to take a photo with that Bible in front of that church. A little bit different response to these white folks, right? Literally opening the frickin' gate for them to get to the Capitol. Then just the hypocritical nature of Twitter censorship here. Here's one of the tweets deleted by Twitter of Trump disputing the election results, far from the first time. Yeah, he's been doing that a lot. Telling his supporters to go home with love and in peace. By comparison, the tweets threatening mass murder against Iran and North Korea remain active on the site. A little bit hypocritical, Twitter, so it's not okay for him to incite that stuff in the United States, but it's completely okay for calling for the murder abroad. Like, get your shit together. Yeah, look at that. Likes of which through Jesus. And then North Korea. Yeah. Again, not surprising. And anytime there's any type of censorship on social media, it will always disproportionately affect people on the left, people calling out U.S. empire, criticizing U.S. empire, anti-imperialists, anti-capitalists. So, I mean, how it started, how it's going. The man pictured Nancy Pelosi's office, took a piece of her mail, made it out safely, then posted a fake. Oh my goodness. 2 MPD cops are trapped in Capitol basement and seemed afraid to come out. MAGA guys tried to organize their exit, but they chose to stay in this. This is like a hostage negotiation.
The officers that are in there are stuck by themselves. They're asking to leave.
So the officers are in there are terrified and they're being allowed out after being trapped. I actually don't know if they're terrified or what, but they're trapped in there. They were the ones who shot the young woman.
Pretty interesting. Yeah, several protesters infuriated by the lethal shooting of a young woman see my brief live stream if they could understand why BLM protests against police brutality. At no point did I receive remotely coherent response. Of course you didn't. These people aren't remotely coherent about anything. I mean, you think that one dude is saying Joe Biden's a fucking communist. I mean, for fuck's sake. The moment MPD riot, police entered the Capitol, shouts of traitors, fuck the police, from a crowd that normally chants back the blue. Yeah. Sounds a little windy. Interesting. Very interesting. Alright. Well, and I think, also could be pointed out, this is chickens coming home to roost, in a sense. Our U.S. foreign policy, U.S. empire is always supporting, instigating coups, uprisings, and rebellions in other countries, especially if they want to chart their own course, even more especially if they're led by a leftist or socialistly inclined government. See Venezuela, see what happened in, Bolivia with the coup there. See what's going on with, Iran, Syria, all these other countless countries throughout the world. And then, yeah, it's like, is it going to change, these so-called liberals and their propensity for intervention across the globe? Probably not, as well as the fact that this will probably result in more authoritarianism, increased funding and expansion of the security state, which will even further curtail our civil liberties, our right to privacy, our right to protest, etc. So, again, not super surprising that this happened, frankly. And it's also very, very telling that Trump was able to get this movement behind him, this mass movement that literally stormed the U.S. Capitol, and people on the left couldn't even get their politicians to show up to force the vote. Imagine if the people storming the Capitol had actually been, demanding something like Medicare for all, or canceling student loan debt, or UBI, or an eco-socialist Green New Deal, or wealth redistribution, or any of these things that would actually improve the material conditions of the working class. These people, a lot of them are probably fairly well off if they're able to travel to DC, hole up in a hotel for a couple of days or whatever, and then go, pretend like they're some revolutionary when, Donald Trump is just a capitalist and a stooge for the capitalist class and for imperialism. So it's like, I understand the anger and rage, but completely misdirected. And again, imagine if the left had this type of power, this type of movement. We were fighting for things that actually improve the material conditions of people's lives, and not just go there and shout how Joe Biden's a communist and we're fighting against I mean, Jesus Christ, get the fuck out of here. Peace, much love, subscribe for more content.